that is the 16th and 17th centuries, and also the period that came after that. And this period was the period when science began. And at that time, they came to know a very important principle or law of nature. Today, even people who go to learn science, they don't learn that. Because it was the church who went against that. And so people didn't begin to talk about that. But all science, all scientific discoveries, all scientific inventions, everything is based on that principle. But they don't speak about it, but they make use of it. And that principle is called determinism. Determinism means that whatever happens in the world happens due to the presence of the necessary conditions. When the necessary conditions are there, it occurs. Whatever occurs in the world, even earthquakes or hurricanes or all natural things, even rain coming down, all that is happening due to the presence of the necessary conditions. That is called determinism. And all inventions, all discoveries based on that. Even when the Wright brothers invented the airplane, they were making use of that law of determinism, because they were trying to find out what are the conditions necessary for flight to take place. They saw birds flying, but human beings couldn't fly. So they made the machine by studying the conditions necessary for flight to take place. Even going up to the moon was done in the same way. And even these cameras or recorders and everything is based on that same law. Even the electric light and so many things. And this law was understood in the East more than 2000 years before that. The Buddha understood this. And the Buddha called this Paticca Samuppada, today translated as dependent origination. It is the same law. But the Buddha used this law in a different way. He didn't make machines. He didn't try to do that. What he did was, he found that this same law is responsible for what is going on in our own mind. And he made use of this law to change the mind. And that is how he was able to gain these psychic powers. Instead of making machines to go in space, he could go in space without machines. He could even change the body into energy, and it was the energy that traveled. And then he could again make his appearance in the form of a body. Of course, when he goes to other worlds, you don't go with a human body. You have to create a different kind of body. So you see, so many things can be done by making use of the same law of determinism. And so this is why the East became civilized long before the West. But as time went, there was the degeneration of the Eastern people. That is why today we don't see Buddhas or Arahants or even people with psychic powers. Because they went down and gradually began to imitate the West. That's what has happened today. So the Westerners have become civilized in a different way by making machines. And that is the great thing about the Westerners. They could make the weapons, very powerful weapons. So they could fight with the Easterners and win wars and then gain control over the Eastern people by making use of their weapons. That was how they conquered these other countries, because they had weapons. Even the Japanese people were conquered because they made this nuclear weapon, nuclear bomb. So you see, it was a machine, but still they were using that same principle which is with the Buddha called Paticca. But they made use of it for a different purpose. That's the difference. So civilization is a thing that comes up and goes down. This is according to what happens to people. So it is important to understand these principles properly and make use of this in the proper way. So then we have enough.
That's the next retreat, Bhante. When is the next retreat, meditation retreat?
Now in February there will be a meditation retreat. I can't tell you the exact date. It will be about, we have the retreat for about starting from a Saturday and ending in another Saturday. Maybe about 7 days or 8 days. And that is somewhere, I think, middle of February. You might be able to find out from the office.
Can I ask you one question? You teach a meditation. Is your meditation is samatha or vipassana?
Both samatha and vipassana is in the meditation, because you have to first practice sila, then comes samadhi, then comes pañña. Vipassana is to get pañña. Samatha is to get samadhi. And you have to go through both. You can't just get only one.
And do you combine the yoga exercise in your meditation?
Yeah, I use yoga exercises also, because to get samadhi, that becomes useful. Not all the yoga exercises that people do, but there are some exercises that help you to get to relax the body.